7 on November 19th, 2020, on this lovely fall day. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Commissioner
Oh, and I
Sperson?
think it will be called the roll. I'm sorry, Madam Clerk.
I need you to say where you are.
You have to say where you are. Yes.
Yes, I need you to say where you currently are located. So not that you care, but I'm in my office here in the courthouse. So anyway, Commissioner Gershenson, are you here and where are you?
I'm here in Bloomfield Township.
Thank you. All right, and let's just give me a minute to write it down, folks. Okay, Commissioner Gingell.
I am here in Lake Orion, Michigan.
Thank you. You're not in Gingellville? Okay, Hoffman?
President,
It's all Gingellville, Lisa.
and I have 1 foot in Highland, the other foot in Rose Township.
All right, can you pick one?
You have to pick one.
Highland.
Island? Next meeting, you can say the other, so you know you're not playing favorites. Jackson?
I'm here in Southfield, Michigan.
Thank you. Kokendorfer?
Here from the beautiful city of Rochester Hills.
Rochester Hills. Thank you. Kowal?
I'm here, White Lake Township.
Thank you. Kuhn?
Here in Troy.
That's easy. Long?
Here, Commerce Township.
Lubes?
Here in Classen, Michigan.
Markham?
Here in Novi.
McGilvray?
Here in wonderful downtown Madison Heights.
Middleton?
Here in Independence Township.
Miller?
Here, Farmington, Michigan.
Nelson?
Here, Waterford Township.
Powell?
Here, Pontiac.
Quarles?
Here, Southfield, Michigan.
Spiz? Is Commissioner Spiz here? No? Okay, not here. Taub?
Here, Bloomfield Township, Michigan.
Thank you. Weipert?
Here, South Line, Michigan.
Woodward? I know you're here. Where are you?
You're on mute, Dave.
I'm sorry. Here, Royal Oak, Michigan.
And Zach?
Here, Huntington Woods, Michigan.
Thank you. All right, do you have a quorum?
Spiz is here too, Oxford, Michigan.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome.
All right. Okay, we have a quorum. They'll bring us to the invocation to be led today by the Honorable Commissioner Nancy Quarles, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance. So we got a wonderful flag behind Clerk Brown and Commissioner Quarles. The floor is yours to lead us through the invocation.
Just add a few words of inspiration I wanted to share with you tonight. And it begins with be true to yourself. There's nothing better than being truthful about everything, including yourself. To be truthful about and to yourself is a desired quality. Shakespeare suggested that those who are true to themselves are unlikely to be false to others. Being truthful to yourself matters because you cannot live in line with your value if you're pretending to yourself that you are something else. When you tell the truth to yourself and to others, your life reflects the truth.
Amen.
Amen.
Thank you. I pledge allegiance
To the flag
to the flag of the United States of America,
of America and to the republic for which it
for
stands,
which it stands,
one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Commissioner Quarles. That will bring us to the approval of the minutes from the October 21st, 2020 meeting. Commissioner McGilvery.
Yes, Mr. Chairman,
Commissioner McGilvery moves, seconded by Commissioner Quarles. Commissioner McGilvery.
I would move to amend the minutes of October 21st to include the addendum as providing, reflecting the locations of all Board of Commission members on the 21st per remote participation guideline.
Okay. Commissioner McGilvery moves that amendment, seconded by Commissioner Nelson. The staff circled back to make sure this is part of the requirement of the law that allows us to meet remotely, to be able to give the physical location of where you are, city and county particularly. And I believe all commissioners are on that addendum, correct? Correct. Okay. All in favor of approving the amendment, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. The amendment is adopted unanimously. And then brings us back to the main motion of approval of the minutes. All in favor of approval of the minutes, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. Let the record reflect that the minutes were adopted unanimously. It moves us to approval of the agenda. There a motion to approve the agenda? Moved by Commissioner Markham, seconded by Commissioner Jackson. Any discussion? As it was mentioned, a couple items were removed. Some commissioners need further questions and comments that come up through committee. We'll also make certain that caucuses that get convened between now and the next meeting, all those items are expected to be on the agenda. Seeing no further discussion, all in favor of approving the agenda as presented, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. Let the record reflect that the agenda is approved unanimously. That brings us to communications. I'll ask Madam Clerk, are there any communications? Nope, you're on mute. Don't get there.
I have 3 monitors because I'm off of the laptop, so getting the mouse to the right one does not always necessary. I apologize. So yes, there are 2 communications this evening. The first dated October 29th, 2020, from the City of Orchard Lake Village, Director of City Services, Gary McCallum, in reference to the 2020 pilot local road improvement program. They participated in the past and again this year to perform drainage improvements and additional edge support for the road surface on portions of Old Orchard Trail, which serves many residential subdivisions within the city and the Orchard Lake Country Club. And so they're expressing, or he's expressing their gratitude and thanking the Board of Commissioners for allowing the city to participate in the program and hope that it will be offered in future years. And the second communication is dated November 19th, 2020, from the chair to the Board of Commissioners. Ladies and gentlemen, please accept this please accept this letter as notification that I've exercised the authority granted under the board rules for the purpose of meeting a submission deadline. Shall be granted authority, the chair shall be granted authority to approve grant applications in excess of $250,000. Oakland County Parks and Recreation has prepared a Davisburg Mill Pond Dam Removal and Restoration Grant application on behalf of Oakland County in the amount of $414,944. The grant application deadline was November 16, 2020. Due to the changes in the board's grant submission process and the board calendar, it was not possible for the department to submit the application for full board consideration in accordance with our normal procedures. The application was reviewed by all appropriate county departments. I've authorized the submission of this grant application. Sincerely, David T. Woodward. That's it.
Great. Can I get a motion to receive those communications? Motion by Commissioner Quarles, seconded by Commissioner Long. Any discussion? Commissioner Hoffman.
I do have a question, Clerk Brown, regarding that grant you just read about. Did you say of the Mill Pond Dam?
Yes, it says, has prepared a Davisburg Mill Pond Dam Removal and Restoration Grant application.
Okay, that's what I thought it was. Thank you.
Thank you. Seeing no further discussion, all in favor of receiving the communication, say aye.
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 Opposed, say nay. Let the record reflect the communications are received unanimously. That brings, we have one proclamation on the agenda. And I don't know, does staff have the ability to put the proclamation on screen? This is a proclamation for the Oakland County Elections Division. I will begin in because I believe we have Director of Elections, Joe Rosella, is going to be on here to receive this proclamation. And I believe Commissioner Quarles, we have a resolution that we are going to adopt in concurrent with this. Staff can bring it up. If not, I will just read, or at least the highlights. We all know that we are coming off a unprecedented election of record turnout, and an election that occurred during a pandemic, and all the appropriate things that had to happen in order to be put in place to make certain that our elections ran smoothly. And our hats tip to all of our local and township clerks, our county clerk, and here in Oakland County, particularly the Oakland County Election Division. I'll just read this proclamation to really highlight the leadership and just the professionalism and a lot of firsts that's been accomplished here. And then we'd like to invite Mr. Roselle to give a couple remarks. But the proclamation reads, whereas residents of Oakland County depend on the professionalism and integrity of Oakland County Elections Division staff and leadership to ensure safe and secure elections, and whereas under the leadership of the Elections Director, Joe Roselle, and the Elections Division of the Oakland County Clerk Register of Deeds Office is responsible for the supervision and certification of all elections that take place within the county, and whereas during the 2020 November general election, Mr. Roselle and his staff performed their duties admirably in the face of a highly contentious political environment, a global pandemic, and exceedingly high voter turnout. Returns show 74.48% of eligible Oakland County voters cast a ballot for the November 3rd election across Oakland County's 406 precincts. And whereas the record turnout for the 2020 general election was due in part to widespread use of absentee voter ballots, on average, 70% of voters countywide opted to cast their ballot in this way. The Oakland County Elections Division worked directly with the 16 counties, cities, townships to ensure that a record number of absentee ballots were counted in a timely manner, despite challenges presented by an ongoing public health crisis and historic embrace of the democratic process by Oakland County voters. Mr. Roselle and the Election Division staff reported results promptly. Now, therefore, David T. Woodward, Chairman of the Oakland County Board of Commissioners, and the entire Oakland County Board of Commissioners do hereby proclaim special commendation to the Oakland County Elections Division. We are grateful for your dedication and service to voters countywide, as well as your success in building Oakland County's reputation for reliable and timely election operations. Truly a magnificent feat, and on behalf of the entire Board of Commissioners, Mr. Roselle, you and your team and the entire clerk's office did an admirable job, and we thank you for your leadership. This process fully completed as of, yesterday, the certification of the Oakland County results. And so, without any further ado, Mr. Roselle, I give you the floor to address the board.
Well, this is much appreciated, and on behalf of the entire team here, I want to thank you and the board and the clerk for all of the support during this pandemic year of administering 3 statewide elections. I will tell you, this is a year for the books. I am so proud of the team here in the Elections Division and all of the work and being on site, sometimes 7 days a week to make this happen. Our local clerks and the team that we established. We were one of the pioneers in August of this concept of a countywide absent voter counting board. And we had 16 communities that chose to participate with us in August and processed about 50,000 ballots and finished in record time. We were very pleased with that. We took it on again in November, doing 144,000 ballots. And just by way of perspective, the city of Detroit only processed about 20,000 more ballots than we did. We were the largest AV board in the state as of Monday night, but ballots that came into the city of Detroit on Tuesday pushed them slightly ahead of us. But we had things reported by 9 p.m. Tuesday, hired 330 workers that rolled up their sleeves and did a great job. And I was so pleased at what happened in those facilities, folks doing their job. You didn't see any negativity come out of the counting that took place here in our county at all. We successfully got through the 14-day canvass, which was no small feat. I will mind you, it required folks here 7 days a week, again, working through weekends, but we are certified, we are in the books. This one is officially behind us in terms of our Oakland County certification. And again, the board and the clerk, everyone has been so supportive of our division with resources and whatnot, and we couldn't have done it without that support. So I tip my hat to you, thanking you for what you've allowed us to accomplish and really become a model for the rest of the state and the rest of the country to follow.
Well, I certainly will. I mean, open the floor to any commissioners would, like to add something, but just the entire team. The national recognition, the statewide recognition, clerk operations around the country reaching out to, how did you do it? How did you count so many ballots so efficiently, so quickly? It really, the testament of you and our county clerk and the entire team. This board stands with you to make certain that all of you have all the equipment, all the support, the necessary resources. I'm also especially impressed and to train new election workers and the virtual training capacity to train that and be able to have it's something to build onward. Unanimous support by this board to support additional compensation, recruit poll workers. I heard all over the county, people were so appreciative on how Oakland County showed up in this election. And we should all be proud of that. And it's just great to have leadership in the clerk's office and the election division that ensured that not only every vote counted, but it was counted quickly in a way that, frankly, shocked. I think shocked our state officials and others around the country. So great job. I don't know if any commissioners have anything else to add. Commissioner Kokendorfer, you might have something to say.
Some of us are even more grateful than others for accurate counts. So I would like to thank the entire elections division for all of their hard work and for the safeguards and the Herculean task, and I really do appreciate it.
Right. Commissioner Kokendorfer, absolutely. I think it's so important that, as public leaders, to have confidence in our election system. And when errors are caught, and they're caught fast and efficiently and reported appropriately, to ensure that the election count is right. And congratulations to Commissioner Kokendorfer, as well as everybody else on the board who was reelected. But Kokendorfer had a little different path to that. I got Commissioner Quarles, followed by Commissioner Gershenson.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I would like to thank our election director and our county clerk for the work and the help they gave us on the safe study for election, that our task force. Much of what we were able to do and accomplish was under their direction, along with a number of the local clerks. And it appears that our work paid off. Additional funding, the resources we gave to the local clerks were helpful in completing our task. So again, thank you, Director of Elections and Madam Clerk.
Thank you, Commissioner Quarles. Commissioner Gershenson.
I just wanted to add, when I was working some of the polls, there were voters that were saying, oh my God, I don't know when we're going to get the results. We're going to get them next week. We're going to get them next month. And I said, not in Oakland County. You're going to have those results shortly. You can count on us. And we do. And we are very grateful for the work that you do, Clerk Brown and Joe, the way you handle our elections division. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. And Commissioner Taub.
Joe, I want to thank you for a terrific job. And I have a suggestion, Joe. maybe you need to teach the people in Detroit how to do it. Thank you.
You have to do that. Here we celebrate doing well, and they offer our support to everybody. All right. Okay. Well, thank you, Joe, for being with here, and we will be also there's a resolution for the record to continue to support this, and I think the fact that it took some communities quite a long to get the results in, then maybe we look long term. How do we sustain and support to be able to provide even more timely results going forward? So, thanks, Joe. All right, that will bring us to the public comment portion of the meeting. This is an opportunity for the public to address the board. We ask people to keep their comments to 3 minutes on topics on the agenda or off the agenda. And I will, if it's okay, Andrea, I know that our Director of Oakland County Parks and Recreations would like to address, so I'm going to give the floor to Mr. Stencil first, and then I will go to our staff for anyone online.
Good afternoon and evening, commissioners, staff, and the general public. I'm Dan Stencil, the Executive Officer of Oakland County Parks and Recreation Commission. I'm a resident of Oakland County. I'm at 3191 Clipper Court, Oxford Mailing, and I'm here in my office at 2800 Watkins Lake Road. On behalf of the Oakland County Parks and Recreation Commission and its staff, I'd like to express our sincere gratitude to the residents, business owners of Oakland County, and this board for their and your continued support, patronage, and we really appreciate the value being placed on the programs, facilities, services that the commission provides. Thank you for the opportunity to be viewed by the public as an essential service, and best wishes to all. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Stencil, and looking forward to seeing the improvements in terms of the infrastructure and the programming to Oakland County parks that we all enjoy. Now I'll call on Andrea. I see in the auditorium, a place that we haven't been in quite some time. Andrea's probably the only one who's been there. We have a few people, yes.
Just staff, but we have callers that are online that would like to speak. I'm having trouble with the clock, so I'm going to use my other one. And I'll call them in succession of when they arrived. Okay. And pulling up the clock. Okay. So Jody White, you have 3 minutes to speak, and I'll turn the clock on and I'll give you a warning. Jody White, would you like to speak? You just announce your name and the community you're from.
Hello, I'm sorry, you want me one more time?
Yes, Jody White. If you would like to speak, you have 3 minutes. I'll start the clock. If you would, please turn off your live stream in the background and you'll get less feedback.
And I'll call them in succession. Right, but someone's talking right now. Do I speak right now?
Yes, it's your time.
Okay, so I'm starting this off.
So Jody White, you have 3 minutes.
Okay, so Sue, thank you. This is Jody White. This is a kind of unique to it. Okay, so this is Jody White. I am from Livonia, Michigan, and I have spoken quite often at the commissioner's meeting. And I do appreciate the election and all the work that was done. And I appreciate how quick and fast Oakland County was able to, I guess, do better than Detroit. My concern that I'm bringing back up is because we did go in 2018 with Judge Hallmark with no opposition in probate court. And now we have Daniel O'Brien that also went this year with no opposition. And he is now a probate court judge. And there is a letter back from October 23rd, 2018 that was brought to the attention of Mr. Ingle. And I'd like Mr. Woodward to maybe look into it again. Mr. Back, who no longer is the state court administrator, is making comments that our complaints did not matter in 2018. And we believe our complaints do matter. It's 2020. We have some people right now that are not getting their court dates. And the fall of the republic is if we do not have our awesome and amazing court system, just like we want an awesome and amazing election system. So the letter was dated October 23rd. It was given to Michael Kingle in 2018 when he was the chairman. And if someone could please look into that. Attorney Kate Ryan did give the commissioners an opportunity to come into the courtroom and look at the way probate court is being handled. And you will see quite a few people that are not getting their day in court. They're not getting their will admitted. They are not being able to clear their name over false allegations. Many of them have gone to the Court of Appeal and are not being able to come back into the probate system and get their cases reheard after spending thousands of dollars in attorney fees and Court of Appeals fees. So that's my number one concern. I would like Mr. Woodward to please put it on the agenda so that we can make sure we follow up with it. The other concern that I have, hopefully I have about 1 minute left. There's a clause in the it's a green book that is passed out. It's white last year, and it's just basically an Oakland County book. And it says that there was a structure that was made where the Board of Commissioners performed the same role as their state legislators or city council. And as though we love proclamations about how great the election board was, we would like a proclamation with our court system. And if you see reasonable cause, there is a way to remove judges for reasonable cause. And it's quite simple. It's just 2/3 of the people that are maybe getting involved in the court system like we have. It is under section 6, Article 6, section 25 in the Constitution.
Ms. White, your time is up. If you would wrap it up, please. Your time is up.
Okay, thank you. So, thank you. So I guess the other thing I'd like to put on an agenda, because we have been coming up quite often, Mr. Woodward. So we would like to address this 1974 Public Act that made it where the commissioners could help the people, because you are 1 million strong and you can get the absentee votes done quickly. We would like help in our probate courts also. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, Ms. White. There's one last caller, Victoria McCasey. Would you like to announce where you're from and your full name, please?
Sure. Good evening, and thank you for having me. My name is Victoria McCasey, former owner of a Christmas tree farm in Holly, in Oakland County, Rose Township, and I live in Central Michigan. I am coming today to give an update and let you know that I do have a court date coming up November 30th. And I'd like for Penny, if you're there, I don't know if she's there this evening, if you could possibly come and join me at 8:30 in the morning on the 30th and watch the corruption as it happens up front and close and personal. I have submitted many pieces of, what am I trying to say here? I have petitioned the court many times to get my will admitted, and they refuse to do that. Christine Wade, who works for Callahan, has gone so far as to physically change the form and then tell me that I have to pay a fee for that, and then he has the judge or sign the form. It's corruption at its finest. They refuse to give me a court date, and they want to keep my $500,000. I did have $1.1 million, but they blew through half of it. So I would appreciate any help that I can get. Before I came on, I read here that Attorney General Dana Nessel just arrested some people. What did she arrest? She arrested a professional guardian for embezzling. And I'm shocked because she didn't do that when she terminated those 4 attorneys from Oakland County who were appointed to her office, and they were raping, pillaging, and stealing. And she and the Justice McCormick agreed to let them go, but they didn't prosecute them. So I'm just shocked that she would even put a notice on it like that. She must really think they were stupid. That's too bad. It just shows how incompetent I think she is. Anyhow, I wanted to thank you so much for letting me use your platform, our platform. I wanted to wish you guys a happy, safe holiday. And thank you for your.
Thank you, Ms. McCasey. There are no other online submissions or written public comment. And so there are no other people in the auditorium as well.
Thank you, Andrea. Seeing no other further comment, I will declare public comment closed. That will bring us to the report to standing committees and the consent agenda. So we have a motion. Is there a motion to approve the consent agenda? Moved by Commissioner Long, seconded by Commissioner Lubes. Any discussion? Seeing no discussion. Madam Clerk, please call the roll on the consent agenda.
On the consent agenda, Commissioners Gingell,
Yes.
Hoffman,
Yes.
Jackson,
Yes.
Kokendorfer,
Yes.
Kowal,
Yes.
Kuhn,
Yes.
Long,
Yes.
Lubes,
Yes.
Markham,
Yes.
McGilvray,
Yes.
Middleton,
Yes.
Miller,
Yes.
Nelson,
Yes.
Howell,
Yes.
Quarles,
Yes.
Fizz,
Yes.
Cobb,
Yes.
Weipert,
Yes.
Woodward,
Yes.
Zach,
Yes.
Gershenson.
Yes.
Mr. Chair, you have 21 yeas, 0 nays.
A sufficient number that voted in the affirmative, the consent agenda is adopted. I move this to the regular agenda. Under Finance and Infrastructure Committee, there is none. It's those items have been taken off. Will be on the next agenda. Health and Safety and Human Services, all items were taken up under the consent agenda. It brings us pandemic response and economic recovery, and there's one item. And so I'll hand it the floor over to Commissioner Gershenson. If you can, Vice Chair.
Well,
You have it?
yes, I do have it. Okay. So I'd like to introduce a miscellaneous resolution in regards to economic development and community affairs, United States Economic Development Administration, the US EDA, CARES Act Recovery Assistance Acceptance.
There's a motion by Commissioner Gershenson, seconded by Commissioner Taub to move the resolution. And I believe we have an amendment. And so I will recognize Commissioner Taub on an amendment that's included in our packet. We worked with a part of discussion in committee. Commissioner Taub.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. My amendment is a be it further resolved that the Economic Development, Community Affairs CARES Act Recovery Assistance Funds will only be utilized to assist small businesses in Oakland County communities that have been negatively, impacted by COVID-19. I would like to move that amendment.
Well, you're, maybe just to clarify, we're talking about make certain that these funds for this revolving fund is for Oakland County businesses. It's not just for COVID related, because this is an ongoing program of a revolving fund of economic development, but for Oakland County businesses specifically.
Okay, would you rather have us just get rid of the part that have been negatively, I think this was sent to you, Mr. Chair, that have been.
No, you're right, yeah. I think it's just important to realize that, so we are receiving a grant from the United States Economic Development Administration that will allow for us to create, really be able to provide much larger loans to support Oakland County businesses, a revolving fund in essence. So if we could modify that just to strike.
Absolutely, yeah.
If we can strike in Oakland County, it basically communities that have been negatively impacted by COVID-19, if we could strike that out and just move the rest.
Yeah, let's put a period after Oakland County. I think that would work.
Perfect. Okay, so Commissioner Taub moves that resolution with that change, just really a period after the words Oakland County. And this is just to ensure, and this is congruent to our microloan programs that operate within Oakland County. There was discussion in committee. I think there's support. Is there a second for the amendment? Seconded by Commissioner Quarles. Okay. Seconded by Commissioner Long. Is there any further discussion on the amendment? Commissioner Quarles on the amendment.
I apologize. I had a question on the amendment.
Okay.
I'm not clear on what this amendment is doing. So could the maker explain it to me, or you, Mr. Chair?
Commissioner Talbot to explain the amendment further.
Yes, in the, I don't have a copy of the resolution, but the resolution refers to a couple of women's organizations, at least one in fact, that has members throughout the whole Midwest. And it's probably a very good organization. But I think with the mention of that, I thought to myself, well, and I think it was evident that we're not going to fund someone who's a member of this women's organization who lives in Kansas, okay, or Illinois or someplace else. That the funding should be going to members of this organization, among others, who are Oakland County businesses. That was the reason I did this.
So, right. So, Commissioner Quarles, if I can add, if I can add to it. So we've created the Oakland County Microloan Program almost 10 years ago to help support Oakland County, particularly during the Great Recession, help support small Oakland County businesses, in which we actually leverage some of our county money with matching dollars to help support that. Similarly, this overall grant that we are getting upwards in $3 million from the federal government, we're matching it with 1.3 of our money to create a fund, a revolving fund to support lending capacity to help support businesses. All this resolution, while I think implied in the original version of this resolution, explicitly makes certain that these dollars are being used to support Oakland County businesses. And that's all this amendment does. And I'm supportive of that. I mean, all this amendment does is just ensure that these dollars are being used to assist, to be used in Oakland. So, sorry.
Mr. Chair.
Yeah, I'm just, so there's something else on this, and I just want to ask staff just for clarification on, because it's saying that we're using CARES Act dollars to do this, and I just want to make certain that I thought we were using other general fund dollars to leverage this grant. So I just want to make certain that we're not screwing something up. But the whole purpose is to reassure that these dollars are being spent, going to be kept in Oakland County, administered with our partnership with this organization that's done a phenomenal job helping support our microloan program. Dollars we're helping match with local dollars to stay in Oakland County to help support Oakland County business. Commissioner Tom.
This is a million.
Can I follow up with my question?
Yeah, Commissioner Tom, I'll come right back to you. Commissioner Quarles and then Commissioner Tom. Commissioner Quarles.
Yeah, I understand that, and certainly the micro loan portion that we did. I guess my question is the way it's written. I'm not sure if we're using general fund dollars or if we're using CARES.
We're using $1.3 million from unassigned fund balance. Okay, it's in one of the now therefore be it resolved. That be it further resolved to appropriate 1.3 from unassigned fund balance, of which $1 million will go toward the RLF capital, 300,000 for oversight. So those are the funds. These are not COVID funds.
I think I can.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, and Mr. Ward. All right, so Mr. Ward.
I think I can clarify. The grant from the EDA is a different grant that was authorized under the CARES Act, the Federal CARES Act. So this is not referring to the CARES Act dollars we received and are distributing the 219. This is another grant program through CARES.
Got it. That makes sense. Okay, good. All right.
Thank you.
That's reference, the CARES Act reference is because the Economic Development Association got that dollars. That's why it's in it. That makes sense. Okay. Any further discussion on the amendment? All in favor of adopting the amendment, say aye.
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 Opposed, say nay. Let the record reflect that the amendment is adopted unanimously. And that brings us back to the main motion to adopt this resolution in matching with our our dollars for the total of $4+ million in this new revolving fund to support Oakland County businesses. Any further discussion on the overall resolution? Seeing none, Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
On the resolution as amended, Commissioners Hoffman,
Yes.
Jackson,
Yes.
Okendorfer,
Yes.
Kowal,
Yes.
Kuhn,
Yes.
Long,
Yes.
Lubes,
Yes.
Markham,
Yes.
McGilvray,
Yes.
Middleton,
Yes.
Miller,
Yes.
Nelson,
Yes.
Powell,
Yes.
Quarles,
Yes.
Biz,
Yes.
Chop,
Yes.
Whitebird,
Yes.
Woodward,
Yes.
Zach,
Yes.
Hershenson,
Yes.
Gingell, Commissioner Gingell?
yes. Gingell's a yes.
Thank you. Mr. Chair, you have 21 yeas, 0 nays.
Sufficient number going in the affirmative, the resolution is adopted. I would also recommend, and I believe it was sent out to all commissioners, in the packet, the kind of the summary of the economic activity that we've been doing in response to COVID and the CARES dollar and the allocation, not only the graphics. I encourage commissioners to look at that. It's a reinforcement of the hard work that everyone here and the administration's been doing to help with the recovery. And I encourage you to look at it, share it, and communicate about it. Next item on the agenda is the reports of special committees. There is none, and brings a special order of business. There's an item on the agenda. I'm going to recognize Commissioner Taub. I'm going to postpone to the next meeting.
Sure.
Commissioner Taub gives notice to postpone to the next meeting. I will recognize Commissioner Kowal. Next.
Yes, I move to postpone to the next meeting, please.
Moved with giving notice to postpone that item to the next meeting. And the last one, Commissioner Kokendorfer.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'd like to move that to the next meeting, please.
Giving notice to discharge to the next meeting. It brings us to unfinished business. There is none. It brings us to new miscellaneous business, and we have a long list, but I think we'll be able to move through pretty quickly because most of these are approval of reimbursements for the local government partnership grant program. And so I will first recognize we have some commemorative resolutions. So I will recognize, I believe it's Commissioner Zach first.
Yes.
Yes, Commissioner Zach.
I want to move suspension of the rules for declare November 2020 as Homelessness Awareness Month in Oakland County. There's a time sensitivity. So I move suspension of the rules.
Commissioner Zach moves to suspend the rules. Is there a second? Seconded by Commissioner Nelson to suspend the rules. All in favor of suspending the rules, say aye.
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 Opposed, say nay. Let the record reflect that the rules are suspended unanimously. Commissioner Zach moves the resolution, seconded by Commissioner Nelson. Any discussion? Seeing no discussion, I'm declaring November 2020 Homeless Awareness Month in Oakland County. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
On the resolution, Commissioners Jackson,
Yes.
Okendorfer,
Yes.
Kowal,
Yes.
Kuhn,
Yes.
Long,
Yes.
Lubes,
Yes.
Markham,
Yes.
McGilvray,
Yes.
Middleton,
Yes.
Miller,
Yes.
Nelson,
Yes.
Powell,
Yes.
Quarles,
Yes.
Spiz,
Yes.
Taub,
Yes.
Whitebird,
Yes.
Woodward,
Yes.
Zach,
Yes.
Hershenson,
Yes.
Gingell,
Yes.
Hoffman.
Yes.
Mr. Chair, you have 21 yeas, 0 nays.
Sufficient number voting in the affirmative, the resolution is adopted. That brings us to item B. I will recognize Commissioner
Mr.
Jackson.
Chair, Mr. Chair, if I could prevail upon Commissioner Zach to open up co-sponsorships for that resolution, I'd like my name added. Thank you.
Certainly. If we could take a motion to accept a motion to add all those who voted in the affirmative for the resolution as a sponsor, moved by Commissioner Kowal, seconded by Commissioner Hoffman. Any discussion of adding all members who voted in the affirmative as co-sponsor of that resolution? Any discussion? Commissioner Zach?
I just want to thank everybody for your support on this. It's an important topic.
Okay. How about if it's all in favor of adding all members who voted in the affirmative as co-sponsors, say aye.
Aye. Aye.
Opposed, say nay. Let the record reflect that all members who voted in the affirmative are co-sponsors of that resolution. I think it's, thank you, Commissioner Zach, and I think particularly as we go into our colder months, to keep in mind the homeless population and the challenges in helping support the homeless population in the pandemic. Day centers and temporary shelters are having a very difficult and challenging time, and think about them during this giving season and support those who are less fortunate. Thank you, Commissioner Zach. That brings us to item B, and I'm going to recognize Commissioner Jackson. I believe that's your resolution. Commissioner B.
Thank you. Thank you, Chair Woodward. I just wanted to ask for support from the board for declaring November 21st as World Pancreatic Cancer Awareness Day in Oakland County, as pancreatic cancer has surpassed breast cancer to become the third leading cause of cancer death in the United States. And having a family member and a family history of diabetes, this cancer affects people with diabetes at an alarming rate. So I just wanted to, in the minority community as well, bring light to this disease. As we know, we lost our previous county executive to pancreatic cancer, and many people are suffering from this disease. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Jackson. So Commissioner Jackson moves to suspend the rules, seconded by Commissioner Long. All in favor of suspending the rules, say aye.
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 Opposed, say nay. Let the record reflect that the rules are suspended unanimously. And moved by Commissioner Jackson, seconded by Commissioner Long, to adopt the resolution declaring November 2019 as World Pancreatic Cancer Awareness Day in Oakland County. Any further discussion? I think Commissioner Jackson did a great job expressing the importance of bringing attention to this important issue. Seeing none, Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
On the resolution, Commissioners Kokendorfer,
Yes.
Kowal,
Yes.
Kuhn,
Yes.
Long,
Yes.
Lubes,
Yes.
Markham,
Yes.
McGilvray,
Yes.
Middleton,
Yes.
Miller,
Yes.
Nelson,
Yes.
Howell,
There is
Yes.
link to the Google Doc.
somebody needs to mute themselves. Sorry, Paul, did you say yes?
Yes.
Thank you. Quarles,
Yes.
Fizz,
Yes.
Cobb,
Yes.
Vipert,
Yes.
Woodward,
Yes.
Zach,
Yes.
Gershenson,
Yes.
Gingell,
Yes.
Hoffman,
Yes.
Jackson.
Yes, and thank you.
Mr. Chair, you have 21 yeas, 0 nays.
Thank you very much. Commissioner Kowal.
Well, thank you, Mr. Chair. I would like to thank Commissioner Jackson for bringing forth this resolution. And having lost my mother-in-law to that disease, I was hoping that Commissioner Jackson would open the resolution up for co-sponsorship.
Commissioner Kowal moves to amend to ensure that all vote members voting in the affirmative are co-sponsors of the resolution, seconded by Commissioner Jackson. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor of adding all affirmative voting members on the resolution as co-sponsors, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say
Aye.
nay. And the motion passes unanimously. Thank you, Commissioner Kowal. Thank you, Commissioner Jackson, for bringing attention to this very important issue.
Thank you.
Next up, I'm going to recognize Commissioner Quarles.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I would like to bring forth this miscellaneous resolution to show our appreciation to the Oakland County Election Division for the dedication and admirable work for Oakland County and the Oakland County voters. I would like to request a suspension of the rules.
Commissioner Quarles moves to suspend the rule. Is there a second? Seconded by Commissioner Miller. All in favor of suspending the rules to take up this resolution immediately, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. Let the record reflect that the rules are suspended unanimously. Commissioner Quarles moves the resolution, seconded by Commissioner Miller. Thank you, Commissioner Quarles, for bringing forth the resolution, and we'll make certain that it gets sent to all jurisdictions to share our appreciation for Oakland County's leadership during these elections. Any further discussion? Basically the same content in what we recognize in the proclamation at the top of the meeting. Seeing none, Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Okay, I'm kind of freaking out because there's a mouse in my office. Anyway, just on the floor.
Can you count the roll and track them out?
Oh my goodness.
All facilities. Okay.
Facilities. All right. I think we need to increase funding for mouse extermination.
Okay. I can do this.
Oh gosh.
Let's go fast.
Commissioners Kowal,
Yes.
Kuhn,
Yes.
Long,
Yes.
Lubes,
Yes.
Markham,
Yes.
McGilvray,
Yes.
Middleton,
Yes.
Miller,
Yes, and I used to be a certified exterminator, just so you know.
Could you get over here and help me put a trick?
They're
Like
more
under-
scared of you than you are them.
Well, I didn't hear it scream, but anyway. Nelson,
Yes.
Powell,
Yes.
Quarles,
Yes.
Biz,
Yes.
Taub,
Yes.
Wypert,
Yes.
Woodward,
Yes.
Zach,
Yes.
Christensen,
Yes.
Gingell,
Yes.
Hoffman,
Yes.
Jackson,
Yes.
Kokendorfer.
Yes.
Okay, Mr. Chair, you have 21 yeas, 0 nays. And if the
Sufficient
mouse
number
gets
votes in the
involved-
affirmative. The resolution's passed. I think we're going to ask Commissioner Nelson to bring her kitty over to. You might be the closest to the clerk's office.
Vegan Dave, vegan. She's just packing up. She's got her purse and everything.
All right. Okay. All right. So next up, we have
Mr. Chairman,
yes, Commissioner McGilvery.
I would like to motion to anyone who voted affirmatively to be added to the proclamation.
Certainly. Commissioner McGilvery moves, seconded by Commissioner Nelson, to add everyone who voted in the affirmative to be co-sponsors of the appreciation of the Oakland County Elections Division for the dedication to admirable service to Oakland County voters. Resolution that was just adopted. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. And let the record reflect that the motion is adopted unanimously. That brings us to our next item. I believe it's Commissioner Lubes I'm recognizing.
Yep, thank you.
Mhm.
I'd like to make a motion regarding the resolution to encourage the governor and state legislature to use
COVID relief funds to supplement the revenue shortfall in the fiscal year 2021 for the secondary road patrol and traffic accident prevention programs.
Moved by Commissioner Lubes to suspend the rules, seconded by Commissioner Spiz. All in favor of suspending the rules, say aye.
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 Opposed, say nay. Let the record reflect that the rules are suspended unanimously. Commissioner Lubes moved, seconded by Commissioner Spiz to move the resolution. Any discussion on the resolution? Are people clear what the secondary road patrol traffic accident prevention programs are? We receive these grants, and those grant funds are a lot lower due to a lot of, well, less driving and fees to support those programs. Seeing no further discussion, Madam Clerk, please call the roll on the resolution.
Commissioners Kuhn,
One point.
Oh,
Yeah.
excuse me, wait. Yes. Was there a discussion?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I
Commissioner,
didn't have my hand
Commissioner
up.
Miller. Sorry.
Like, yeah, I just want to say that, for the last few months, there's been, well, a couple weeks ago, there was 2. And then before that, there was another 2. So at least 4 in the last, 3 months of construction workers that have died from drivers not paying attention and what have you. So it's more of not saying that there's not people on the road. I think there's more people on the road now, but it's at different hours. And, I have to say more times than not, there's alcohol involved. So that's, I appreciate this resolution. Protect the workers out there because they're doing the same thing we want to do, is just, better the quality of life of our family and come home better than they left, So I just want to say I appreciate that.
Thank you, Commissioner Miller. All right, seeing no further discussion, Madam Clerk, now let's call the roll on the resolution.
okay, sorry, I'm just
You
moving
okay?
things yeah, I'm just moving things so the mouse doesn't get things. Anyway, if you get a certificate of election and it has a corner bitten off, you'll know why. Anyways, it wasn't me. It was the mouse. On the resolution, Commissioners Kuhn,
Yes.
Long,
Yes.
Lubes,
Yes.
Markham,
Yes.
McGilvray,
Yes.
Middleton,
Yes.
Miller,
Yes.
Nelson,
Yes.
Powell,
Yes.
Quarles,
Yes.
Biz,
Yes.
Taub,
Yes.
Wypert,
Yes.
Woodward,
Yes.
Zach,
Yes.
Gershenson,
Yes.
Gingell,
Yes.
Hoffman,
Yes.
Jackson,
Yes.
Kokendorfer,
Yes.
Kowal.
Yes.
Mr. Chair, you have 21 yeas, 0 nays.
Sufficient number voting in the affirmative. The resolution is adopted. Does Commissioner Miller want to make a motion to add all affirmative voting members as co-sponsors of the resolution? Moved by Commissioner Miller, seconded by Commissioner Spiz. All in favor of adding all members voting in the affirmative as co-sponsor of the resolution, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. Let that pass unanimously. And moves us on to the next item, and I guess I believe I will recognize Commissioner Zach. Commissioner Zach, please.
Okay, so we are Board of Commissioners, it's authorization of a forensic audit of the county tax foreclosures management. This is actually done in conjunction with Commissioner Hoffman as well.
So moved by Commissioner
And
Zach.
I move to suspend the rules.
Okay. Commissioner Zach moves to suspend the rules. Is there a second to suspend the rules? Seconded by.
Our cosmetology program. And
There's a seconded by Commissioner Nelson to suspend the rules. All in favor of suspending the rules? To take up a resolution now, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay.
Nay.
All right, Madam Clerk, please call the roll on suspending the rules.
Okay, on suspension of the rules, Commissioners Long,
Yes.
Lubes,
Yes.
Markham,
Yes.
McGilvery,
Yes.
Middleton,
Yes.
Miller,
Yes.
Nelson,
Yes.
Powell,
Yes.
Quarles,
Yes.
Biz,
No.
Cobb,
Yes.
Whitebert,
Yes.
Woodward,
Yes.
Zach,
Yes.
Gershenson,
Yes.
Gingell,
Yes.
Hoffman,
Yes.
Jackson,
Yes.
Kokendorfer,
Yes.
Powell,
Yes.
Kuhn.
Yes.
Mr. Chair, you have 20 yeas, 0 nay. 1 nay. 20 yeas, 1 nay.
A sufficient number voting affirmative. The rules are suspended. Commissioner Zach moves, seconded by Commissioner Nelson. Commissioner Zach, can you explain this resolution? I know that staff sent
Yes,
out. a few-
that's what I would like to do.
Yeah, so explain the resolution.
What we did, we actually, or the chair created a special committee to work on the foreclosure issue. And there were two things that this special committee was comprised of Commissioner Woodward, Commissioner Hoffman, and myself. And we made two recommendations. One was we changed some policy on foreclosure. And the second recommendation that we made was to do a forensic audit of all of the foreclosures starting from 2009 to 2019. And I served, there was a committee, RFP committee, we went out to bid. I served on that. We selected this really wonderful accounting firm, and we failed to bring it before the Board of Commissioners for approval of the contract. And so this is correcting our mistake of not bringing it before the Board of Commissioners for the approval of this contract going forward. And the audit will be conducted through the Board of Commissioners. Under our audit committee will be the supervising body, just like we do the regular audit. And the reason it's in the resolution, we want an accounting of what's going on. We all want to be assured nothing's wrong. And it also, we need to be doing this for our legal defense as well.
Commissioner Hoffman, followed by Commissioner Long.
Thank you, and thank you, Commissioner Zach. Everything she said is accurate, but from what I understand, and we did request that an RFP go out through administration or through the system to get some quotes on this, but we never had any further discussion after that. And it's my belief that something like this should go to the Finance Committee. I don't think we should act on this tonight. We're talking about entering into a contract for over $900,000. And I think that, and I'm not opposed to the policy we changed or the forensic audit, but I think it needs to go to the Finance Committee, and this thing needs to be vetted a little better before we spend this kind of money.
I support that motion.
Wait, 1 second. Can we come back to that? I had Commissioner Long in the queue.
Well, now mine might not be on that issue. That's what I was going to ask. With you, Commissioner Zach, Commissioner Woodward, and Commissioner Hoffman on this subcommittee, did you guys all agree on the contract going out to the one that was chosen? That's what I was going to ask. So I'm not on the referral to finance, but I want to make sure you three were all in agreement on your subcommittee.
We never voted on that. We never had another meeting, and we never voted on it.
To Commissioner Hoffman, like the committee did not vote approval of an RFP. There was an RFP committee that set
Right.
up. Was set up.
We supported that. We did not vote on the conclusion of the picking this company. There was no vote.
So is this time sensitive or can it go to finance, Commissioner Zach and Hoffman and Woodward?
No, Commissioner Zach, and I think you can answer those questions.
So I was the representative on the RFP committee from the special committee and the Board of Commissioners. And it was a very thorough vetting, including the treasurer's office, the county exec, the corporation council, and others that were on it. And I feel, we were all unanimous in this decision. So from the time sensitivity, I'm not opposed to it going before finance, but we are correcting a mistake. We're moving forward on this contract. And frankly, this was not the most expensive bid. It was in the middle bid. So, I'd like to move forward right now. And the contract has been vetted by Corporation Council. They've approved it. It's gone through all of our different chain of command, other than the Board of Commissioners.
All right. Okay. Commissioner Kokendorfer for the first time, then Commissioner Spiz. Oh, excuse me. I'm sorry. No, Commissioner Kokendorfer. Commissioner Spiz did have his hand up first. So Commissioner Spiz, then Kokendorfer, and then I'll recognize Commissioner Hoffman.
2 questions. First one. So has the contract been signed already with this vendor?
Commissioner
Yes.
Zach.
Yes.
And so what if we don't approve it? What happens? There's an out clause in the contract, I believe.
There usually is.
Yeah, because I agree with Commissioner Hoffman and a few others that this needs to be vetted by the Finance Committee, which is the proper process before coming to this board to be reviewed. We're talking about $937,000 to do an audit. And they quoted 4,000 hours, 4,000 man hours, which is 2 full-time employees per year to do such a thing. And if we wanted to, as an organization, as a government entity, $937,000, we could hire 10 people to do the same thing. So I think there needs to be a lot more discussion on this topic. So I support it going to finance for further review.
All right. I got Commissioner Kokendorfer, followed by Hoffman.
Just a question, I understand there was a mistake here, but what are the consequences of waiting, say, 2 weeks?
Wait, what are the consequences?
Right, what are the consequences of postponing this, letting this go through Finance Committee and then assume that it's approved in a few weeks? What are the consequences of delay of a few weeks?
Well, we do have a signed contract. We do want this. I'm not opposed to sending it to finance. So, we do need to take action on this. We do have pending litigation that we need to be prepared for, and there are motions going. So from a time sensitivity, we're trying to take action. And I'll accept the mistake. There are a couple of us that we really didn't. I wasn't thinking about that ahead of time, so I'm going to own the mistake. And it was when it came to me, I said, oops. And so trying to correct the mistake.
No, I understand that everybody makes mistakes. I just don't want to repeat another mistake by skipping around processes. If there really won't be any severe consequence by waiting, say, 2 weeks and letting this go through our normal processes.
So Commissioner, I recognize Commissioner Hoffman. It kind of brings us full circle. Commissioner Hoffman, I think, and maybe if you want to make a motion right now, Commissioner Zach, I think will support. Commissioner Hoffman.
Okay. Just a final comment, I guess, that it's good that we own the mistake, but ultimately the taxpayers will own the mistake because the money's not coming out of our pocket. I appreciate Commissioner Zach supporting it going to finance. I just think we need to go through the proper channels and ultimately it may come back that way. But I think this is just a prudent thing to do, and I move then that we send it to finance.
Commissioner Hoffman moves this, refer it to finance, seconded by
I'll second.
Commissioner Kokendorfer, or so I hear a voice and I see a hand. So, okay. Second by Commissioner Kokendorfer. All in favor of sending it to finance, say aye.
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 Opposed, say nay. Let the record reflect that unanimously.
I think
that
Nancy had a question. Nancy had a question.
Oh, good. Yes, Commissioner.
I had a chair, excuse me, I had a question.
On the motion?
Yeah, on this motion.
Okay.
Before we were taking the vote. What is the consequences of this if we send it to, back to finance and we have a signed contract? Is there a date in that contract that, it's supposed to start? My question is,
I think I can answer that. Mr. Chair.
contract with
I think we've got Chief Ward on the line. So, Chris, can you answer the Commissioner Quarles' question?
Yeah, because we do have an executed contract, we'll have to work with the vendor essentially to come to an agreement that we are not ready to proceed yet. We also have a 90-day out clause, as Commissioner Spence mentioned as well.
Okay, so then, if we don't, with our signed contract, we have a 90-day out clause and we can work with the vendor on it. Because what I don't want to see is another suit come to the board from the signed vendor. Okay, thank you.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Commissioner Quarles. Any further discussion about sending it to finance? All in favor of sending it to finance, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. The record reflect that unanimously, motion passes to send to finance. It'll be taken up at finance, and I expect to see some resolution at our next meeting. All right. That will conclude the item. That item. It'll move us to the next one. Commissioner Gershenson, I believe, is up next. Commissioner
I'm
Gershenson?
sorry, I lost my internet, so I don't have the agenda in front of me.
This is the motion to suspend the rules for approval of reallocation of CARES money to the Oakland County Together Cultural Institution COVID-19 Support Fund. So Commissioner Gershenson moves to suspend the rules, seconded by Commissioner Jackson. All in favor of suspending the rules to take up this item, immediately say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. Let the record reflect that the rules are suspended unanimously, and Commissioner Gershenson moves, seconded by Commissioner Tubb, to support this additional this resolution that reallocates $60,000 additional dollars to support this fund on top of the $2 million we originally to satisfy all of those grants. Any discussion?
Commissioner Woodward?
Yeah, Commissioner Gershenson.
Thank you. This was brought to the committee's attention by Commissioner Taub, who really wanted to advocate for Cranbrook Institution. The most you could get in this of these cultural grants was $50,000, and there were 4 entities that Cranbrook proposed, and so in order to give each one adequate funding, we needed some more money. So that's how this all came about, and luckily there was some extra money that we could do that.
Right. Thank you, Commissioner Gershenson. This is basically available dollars to help support better supporting our arts and culture institutions. I think that's a great thing to be able to do. These organizations have been struggling during this pandemic, and hopefully this helps us get through it a little bit better. Any further discussion on the resolution? Seeing none, Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
On the resolution, Commissioners Lubes,
Yes.
Markham,
Yes.
McGilvray,
Yes.
Middleton,
Yes.
Miller,
Yes.
Nelson,
Yes.
Powell,
Yes.
Quarles,
Yes.
Fizz,
Yes.
Cobb,
Yes.
Whitebird,
Yes.
Woodward,
Yes.
Zach,
Yes.
Gershenson,
Yes.
Gingell,
Yes.
Hoffman,
Yes.
Jackson,
Yes.
Ogendorfer,
Yes.
Cowell,
Yes.
Kuhn,
Yes.
Long.
Yes.
Mr. Chair, you have 21 yeas, 0 nays.
Sufficient number voting in the affirmative, the resolution is adopted. So the next few resolutions deal with school and city grants. I'm gonna take the school ones together and then we'll take the city ones. So if I can get a motion to take, to suspend the rules on items G, H, I, and J. Moved by Commissioner Hoffman, seconded by Commissioner Taub to suspend the rules to take up those items. And those are school districts that would be receiving some of the Oakland Together School COVID-19 Support Fund dollars. All in favor of suspending the rules, say aye.
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 Opposed, say nay. The rules are suspended on items G, H, I, and J. We need a motion moved by Commissioner Taub, seconded by Commissioner Miller to take up those 4 items. Any discussion? Seeing no discussion on those 4 grants to school districts, Madam Clerk, please call the roll on items G, H, I, and J.
On GHIJ, Commissioners Markham,
Yes.
McGilvray,
Yes.
Middleton,
Yes.
Miller,
Yes.
Nelson,
Yes.
Powell,
Yes.
Quarles,
Yes.
Fizz,
Yes.
Cobb,
Yes.
Whitebird,
Yes.
Woodward,
Yes.
Zach,
Yes.
Gershenson,
Yes.
Gingell,
Yes.
Hoffman,
Yes.
Jackson,
Yes.
Ogendorfer,
Yes.
Cowell,
Yes.
Kuhn,
Yes.
Long,
Yes.
Lubes.
Yes.
Mr. Chair, you have 21 yeas, 0 nays.
Sufficient number voting in the affirmative, the resolutions are adopted. Next up, we're going to take items K through we'll take this all the way down to beyond Milford and Waterford. And all the way to SS, the Senior Center in White Lake. These are all grants through the local community grants. They include grants to local cities, village, township, and other local governments, including the library and senior programs. Can I get a motion to suspend the rules for all those? Moved by Commissioner Whiteford, seconded by Commissioner Powell. All in favor of suspending the rules to take up the remaining items under new business there? Say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. Let the record reflect that the rules are suspended unanimously and moved by Commissioner Whiteford, seconded by Commissioner Powell to take up all these resolutions. And clearly the committee and staff and administration have been very busy because I think it's the longest list yet. And I'm glad to see we're getting those dollars out to our local cities, our senior centers, our libraries, and I expect there's a few more that are coming. Any further discussion on any of these? Certainly you contact your respective communities. Seeing no further discussion, Madam Clerk, please call the roll on all those items from item J.
Items K through SS.
Yes, K through SS.
Yes. On all those resolutions, Commissioners McGilvray,
Yes.
Middleton,
Yes.
Miller. I think that was a yes, yes? Miller? Okay.
Yes.
There, you cut off.
Yes.
Thank you. Nelson,
Yes.
Powell,
Oh, great.
Yes.
Quarles,
Yes.
Sis,
Yes.
Cobb,
Yes.
Wypert,
Yes.
Woodward,
Yes.
Zach,
Yes.
Gershenson,
Yes.
Gingell,
Yes.
Hoffman,
Yes.
Jackson,
Yes.
Kokendorfer,
Yes.
Kowal,
Yes.
Kuhn,
Yes.
Long,
Yes.
Lubes,
Yes.
Markham.
Yes.
Mr. Chair, you have 21 yeas, 0 nays.
Sufficient number voting affirmative, all those resolutions are adopted. Okay, I think there's a couple of resolutions just for introduction. I'm going to recognize Commissioner Miller first. You have it in front of you, Commissioner Miller? This is the resolution to refer to Health and Safety and Human Services, an educational attainment compensation incentive program for the Oakland County Sheriff's Office deputies. And to introduce it, you're on mute. Bye.
One second, I thought I had the updated agenda, but unfortunately I do not. So give me a hold, please.
Yeah, that's all right. Well, and I'll recognize you to refer the further educational attainment compensation incentive program for Oakland County Sheriff's Office deputies and refer it to Health and Safety and Human Services without objection.
That's exactly what I was going to say.
That's all right. Good. Heard without objection. And
Thank
there's
you.
one other, Commissioner Quarles, myself, this is a authorized funding for Oakland County Board of Canvassers with the Oakland Together Local Grant Partnership Grant. This will refer to pandemic response and economic recovery without objection. And for further discussion. And that brings us to announcements. Any announcements? Seeing no announcements, okay, then we'll adjourn to December 10th at 5 p.m. or a call of the chair. Thank you, everyone. Oh, you have an announcement, Commissioner Powell?
Happy Thanksgiving.
Well, that's what we did.